This is a two-part question.
What's your second worst sexual encounter?
Yeah. What's your 14th worst? What do you genuinely, if you had to bet money,
Okay.
what do you really think happens when we die? You know, even if you're an agnostic, you have to bet money. You have to pick.
Okay.
And then compared to what you think is the truth, what do you wish would happen? Like, you know, if you could choose what the afterlife is, or what version of the afterlife that culture hands us, which one sounds the most appealing? We can take it one at a time. So what do you think happens when we die? And then I can answer why you think of the next answer.
I think that there is this unfeeling, there's no moral or creative design, just way that the world and the universe is. And it's not anything that is what we conceive of having the meaning, or it's just something that exists. And I think we as humans are just people that evolved to have this consciousness, and that we think we're different because we evolved with this consciousness, but it's just we are no different in the grand scheme of things as like dogs or even plants or anything like
Ants,
that.
yeah.
Just because however we evolved, like we had this consciousness that makes us think that we are a person.
And we're the smartest animals on this particular planet, which gives us that extra sense of superiority. There's the animal world, and then there's human beings.
Right.
But if we could glance at the spectrum of life in the cosmos, you know, we'd be deeply humbled. Like we're actually, you know, we're like the chimpanzees to a fucking species of intelligent life that lives on the other side of the Milky Way or whatever.
Oh yeah, and so I think that it almost that's what we are. We're no different from animals. We just have this miracle of consciousness that makes us think that we are. It's almost this like sixth sense that, you know, the animals don't have. And so when we die, it's not just, it's nothingness. We die the same way that animals or plants do. And the unfeeling cosmos and world just goes on. That's what, if I had to put money on, that's what I think it would be.
So pretty much the hardcore atheist version of what happens. Atheist and naturalist. There is no supernatural realm.
Yeah, you know? yeah. No supernatural. I mean, it's so hard to like rule that out, but I don't know. Like it fucks with your mind to conceive of just like a thing just existing just to exist as a thing. You know, like without anything, like just a thing is there because it's just a thing, but there's no other grander, you know, metaphysical like thing. It's just, I don't know. Like that's the best way I can put it, because I can't, maybe it's the one I choose because I can't really conceive of what that supernatural creator would be.
Sure.
And so like that's my, I mean, it's not really my gut, but that's the one I guess I would put money on.
Yeah, a lot of people might be surprised by this, but because I explore religion and I explore spirituality so much, you know, and I used to be a new atheist, and obviously I've completely disavowed that whole sort of intellectual period of my life. But I really am in a lot of ways an atheist still. You know, I say epistemologically I'm an agnostic because that's the only rational position anybody can have given the extreme limitations we have on what we can know. So to pretend you know, or, you know, is just absurd. So agnosticism is like the technically correct position that everybody should have.
Which is the one that everyone shits
say, I don't
on.
know. Yes, of course.
Real waffler.
But I would, you know, I think atheism is a definitely leading contender. Basically how you just articulated it. It's nothing. You go to sleep, just like before you were born.
Yep.
There's something actually kind of comforting in that as well. But when you think about the deep time, you know, and how brief your it kind of is overwhelming. Like, you know, in a trillion years, the last black holes will, you know, do Hawking's radiation and sort of shit out. You know, there'll be trillions of years after the last star burns out where there's still black holes roaming the universe for trillions of years. And it's just like, you know, like to put yourself in that broader context is absolutely sort of mind-boggling and insane, and makes you feel completely insignificant, like an ant, like a fucking weed outside of the shed that's going to die, and, you know, there's nothing that's going to continue on.
Can I